football. Enid Plainsmen Football with Steve and Steve.
Welcome to Enid Plainsmen Football. Thank you for joining us today. Enid Plainsmen lose their district opener last Friday night to Westmore. A score of 50-35, but it was a lot closer of a game than if you just look at the numbers. It was 21-14 with Westmore leading at halftime, and there was plenty of defense and there was plenty of offense in the second half to end up again 50-35. Plainsmen now 1-3 on the year and have another district foe coming up this Friday. So let's talk a little bit about last week. Coach, there was a lot of defense. You had some fourth down stands. There was a lot of offense on both teams.
Yeah.
Westmore had some athletes, and of course you have athletes as well. Your comments from last Friday's game.
Really exciting game. We started the game off really well. Our defense forced a turnover right off the bat, and we were able to drive down to the Westmore 5-yard line, had second and goal from the 5, and then, man, we had a little snap bug bit us in the rear end again. We had a bad snap, and that kind of killed that drive. And then Westmore jumps up on us 14-0. And then our kids did a great job of fighting back, tie the game up at 14 with that 3 minutes left to go in the half. And then Westmore, who's so explosive offensively, drives down the field and it takes a 21-14 lead going into halftime. We immediately come out and tie it back up. And it's kind of back and forth all the way through to the end of the game. Our defense had a great goal line stand in the fourth quarter with a minute left to go. It was 42-35 at that point, and we had an opportunity to drive 99 yards in 71 seconds and just weren't able to pull that particular part off. But great night. We had over 400 yards rushing. Passing game, we were very efficient. We didn't have any big plays, but we didn't have any turnovers other than that very one at the very end of the game that really didn't matter at that point because of what we were trying to do. And so really, really proud of how hard our kids played. I thought they played to win. They played with great confidence. You couldn't tell that they'd heard the news that we weren't supposed to play in 6A Division I. We definitely competed and act like we belong and potentially could be a force to contend with as we roll into district because, Westmore's a very, very good football team. Was a very good playoff team last year. I had also on the ropes there in the first round, and so really, really proud of the way we played and especially the improvements we've made offensively over the last 4 weeks. They really showed up Friday night.
Coach, one topic I'd like to address, we both said it was 21-14 to halftime. The Plainsmen received the ball to get the second half, and you go down the field and score. You have some big plays. I think you had a fourth down conversion. I'm trying to remember. But the important part is opening kickoff, second half, you go down and score. What did you tell the players at halftime before that long drive to score? Because that's impressive to kick off the second half, you keep the ball and go all the distance to score.
Yeah, it was a great drive. We made a few little adjustments at halftime based on, we were really successful moving the ball in the first half. They did a few things to try to limit that, and so we made some adjustments based off what they were doing. Really worked well. In the second half, we pretty much scored on every possession we had except for one until that last minute of the game, and so those adjustments worked well, and the kids did a good job of executing. We just played really well in the offensive line. I really felt like we dominated the line of scrimmage, which was not the case the week before, and huge improvement there. And I thought our quarterback play was really good this week as well.
Thank you for joining us today on Plainsmen Football, the Coaches Show with Steve and Steve. We're pleased to come to your home each and every week to give you the recap of the Friday night game. Coach, we move into the playback segment, and I know that Will Phillips had a big night, as if you're counting for touchdowns and then throwing for a touchdown.
Yeah.
But we're getting ready to see some highlights. What are some things for folks to get ready to see?
Well, you're going to see a lot of great effort, a lot of plays that are finished with effort and physical domination, really good plays, tackling and open field type stuff from our defense, and then just really good job running the football, I thought, Friday night and getting to their second and third level players, both with Titan at quarterback and Will at running back. Offensive line opened a lot of holes this week.
Coach, thank you for your assistant coaches, your support staff, their work to get the playbacks to us and the highlights, if you will. So let's move into that segment right now. And, Coach, typically you do a little play-by-play to give us the behind the scenes. So here we go.
Okay, we're running, I believe this play right here is going to be speed option to the left. Titan reads the defensive end working the pitch. He keeps it. Great block by Colton Dodd. Great to have him back this week. We take the ball all the way down the 25-yard line. This is our opening drive of the game. Here's the play where I was talking about where defense makes contact about 4 yards. So think about it. We get the ball here at the 26. They make contact at the 23. And then our pile and our kids' effort and determination take this ball all the way down to the 8-yard line. It's almost comical looking, but what great effort by our kids to open the game. Here.
And give credit to the refs for not blowing the whistle.
Yeah, because they're still forward progress.
They could have stopped it 10 yards away.
Yeah, great run here by Will. Bounce it to the outside, getting it down to about the 2-yard line. He did step out of bounds. You watch the film closely, but a great effort to get down there. Here's a good play defensively. I believe this is a run play. Step up, nice play by Hayden Priest. And then looks like Caleb Stanley there to finish it off. Here we get into an empty set to throw the football. I believe this is going to be Damian Ryman here on the in cut. Nice throw and catch and run. Really well-placed ball in the tight coverage there. It was a good throw by Titan. Good protection as well by the O-line.
It was a nice night for football.
It really was, considering the weather and the rest part of the state.
Yeah.
Put this on here because I really like the effort and run by Damian Ryman. It was a 2-yard pass. It turned into about a 18, 19-yard gain just out of effort.
And it's obvious
alone.
that is all effort.
Yeah, just complete effort. Nice effort run here, 7-yard touchdown run by Titan. Finish off that drive and get in the end zone and get us up. I believe this is the touchdown pass by Will Phillips. Good job of keeping people out of his face, and perfect throw to Damian Ryman in the end zone. Goal line stand here at the end of the game by our defense. I see that they had first and goal at the 1, and our defense were able to hold all 4 downs, keep them out of the end zone, and give the offense a chance to potentially go and either tie or win the football game. A really nice play at the end of the half. Here's another play to keep the quarterback out. And then I think this final play is the 4th and 1 play that allows us to get the ball back, get the ball on about the 1-inch line, and we get great penetration by the D-line edge stunt and hit him in the backfield, keep him from making the touchdown. A pretty exciting moment in the game.
Thank you for those playbacks.
You bet.
Your thoughts when you see those playbacks again, I know you've seen them several times, typically that just reconfirms what you witnessed on the field.
Yeah, Friday night I felt like we ran out of time. If we were able to do offensively what we've been able to do all game there on that last drive, I really feel like we had a chance to go down and tie it up and go ahead. But with 71 seconds left and 99 yards, and at that point no timeouts, we had to do things that we really aren't quite as good at. And they did a good job of stopping us down there. But I just felt like, if we'd had 3 minutes on the clock, we would have had a great chance of going down and putting it into overtime and winning the game. So really proud of our kids' effort, never giving up, and really playing well. Westmore this year has only given up 13 points a game defensively. That's one of the things they've been really, really good at. And so to play as well as we did offensively against them, I think is a real credit to our kids.
So you have to be really pleased with their resolve, your team's resolve,
Yes.
because as they marched down the field there in the first part of the game, and then with the high snap, just kind of momentum shifted right there.
Big, yeah.
But no one closed the doors and went home. Everybody stayed into play and kept on going.
No, I agree. Really proud of our effort and our kids' character Friday night.
Thanks for joining us again today for the Coaches Show. Again, Westmore wins the district opener 50-35. And we'll be right back as we get ready for the student athlete segment here on the Coaches Show with Steve and Steve. Thanks for staying with us.
Nikki Chinoska, class of 2020, running back and free safety.
I'm Rodrigo, senior, play receiver, corner.
Kyler Bridenstine, class of 2019, O-line.
Blake Priest, class of 2021, quarterback.
Malachi Mota, class of 2021, D-line.
Abraham Rodriguez, tight end, senior.
Isaiah Mindenhall, linebacker, and senior.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us for Plainsmen Football, the Coaches Show with Steve and Steve. And, of course, one of our favorites. We have numerous segments that are our favorites, but we also like to introduce our student athlete for this week. Ariyan Levy is our special guest. Ariyan, welcome to the Enid Television Network studios. What do you think of all the bright lights? We need a few more, you think?
No, it's fine.
It's good. Okay, well, welcome. Thanks for being here. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's with great pleasure I introduce Ariyan to our viewing crowd. He's just a fantastic member of our team. Just great attitude, great effort, great energy. Always comes in very upbeat and ready to get after it, and love coaching him. I'll let him introduce him.
You're going to have to keep it up now because it's on tape. It's on record.
That's right. Hey, Ariyan, tell everybody what position you play and what that involves and why you like playing that position.
I'm an outside linebacker, And what I do is, like, we read, kind of stay in the quarterback's eye and make sure he can throw an interception. Or if he doesn't, we just run up and kill him.
Yeah. What would you say is the thing you do best?
Just, I think being aggressive and, like, trying to get to the person that has the ball, like, hunt him down.
Yes. He is our offensive lineman's nightmare on scout team. They hate it when Ariyan goes and plays scout team because they know they're fixing to have to work hard because he makes them work so hard, which I love. Ariyan, there's no doubt in my mind that you love football. So why do you love the game of football?
Because, like, it's just fun, and it's just like, you got a lot of frustration sometimes, and you can go out there and hit people because, like, Coach Hayes always preached to us today. He's like, this is the opportunity where you can actually hit somebody when you're frustrated and it's legal. He's like, if you go out in the streets and just hit somebody, there are going to be consequences. He was like, do it while you can. And when the whistle has been blown, fine, keep going. But when the whistle's been blown, stop, cut it down.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Ariyan loves it when the ball's snapped. He doesn't like it when the whistle blows. That's right. Hey, what'd you do this spring and summer to get ready for your senior football season?
We lift and ran, and we learned more as we were going into spring ball, and we just kept doing it until we got where we needed to be at.
Yeah. And what are your personal goals for the season this year?
I want to get in the playoffs. I want to win this championship with my brothers because it's the last year. I want to go out with a bang.
Yeah, Ariyan's a great teammate, let me tell you. He does care about the guys around him. What are your goals as a senior when you graduate next May? We even kind of talked about how quickly that was going to happen driving over here today.
Just like to finish high school with decent grades and try to become either in the military or a firefighter. I'm still trying to weigh out my options. Me and Mom have been talking about it. I need to figure out what I need to do because time is not on my side. It's not on anybody's side.
He said to the old men sitting next to him.
Oh, good. And don't forget, it speeds up. So
that's right. That's right.
Didn't Coach A just said it'll be almost time for my 10 reunion?
That's
like
right.
that?
It'll be just like that. So what's your favorite class?
I like science.
Yeah. That's good.
Takes a special person to like science.
It does. It does.
I don't like math.
I can't relate to math or science. So
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Ariyan, let me ask you this: You're being developed, like it or not, or aware of it or not, you're being developed.
Yes, sir.
What do you think one of the key experiences you're going to take away from this whole football, athletic, Coach Hayes experience? What are you going to take away from all of this?
Take away like all the lessons that he's taught me.
And one of those lessons would be what?
The key to playing football and being a man is having honor and integrity. That's what he preaches to us all the time, and he's absolutely right because there's rules to every single thing you do.
Anything else, Coach?
No. If you want to come watch an exciting football player, come on out and watch Ariyan on a game night. He's number 36. I mess with him and act like I don't hear it, but he's number 36, not 26, and you will definitely notice him when he's on the field.
I think you've opened the window into Ariyan's life, and we've learned a little bit more about this young man. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Ariyan Levy is our special student athlete that we're featuring this week, and we appreciate him being here. Now let's take time to meet some of the assistant coaches, and when we come back, again, another segment that's a lot of fun for us. It's Chalk Talk, but first, let's do this.
I'm Coach Dusty Quarles. I coach secondary. I went to the Northwestern Oklahoma State University, and the best advice I've ever been given is keep God first. And if you do so and have a relationship with Christ, then you'll never have to worry about whether or not you're adequate for today's journey.
I'm Kyle Young. I attended the University of Central Oklahoma. I coach linebackers and defensive coordinator. And the best advice I'd probably give or have received is when it comes to your morals or your faith, don't settle. Always stand on the rock and never falter no matter what's going around in your life.
My name is Kime Sears. I coach the defensive line for the Enid Plainsmen. I went to the University of Nebraska, and the best piece of advice that I've gotten is leaders lead from the front, not from the back.
I'm Kyle Davis. I attended the University of Oklahoma. I coach the offensive line, and the best piece of advice I've gotten is give it to God.
Thanks for staying with us on Plainsmen Football, the Coaches Show with Steve and Steve, Coach Steve Hayes, along with me again this week. Mm-hmm. You have a supporting staff, extensive experience.
Yes.
They've played college ball. Yeah. Some have played professional ball.
Yeah.
They bring a lot to your staff.
Yeah.
How do you orchestrate and put all that together, Coach?
Well, we're very fortunate to have really, really good football coaches who are also good men. I mean, I think that's the thing that you kind of take for granted is you want people that are competent and skilled in teaching the fundamentals of football and implementing schemes that will make the kids successful, but to also have people that truly care about kids, love kids, and are good human beings and good role models is so important, especially at the high school level. And we're very, very fortunate to have at every position a man that kind of fits that bill, a man that I would feel good about my son having played for when he played, and really confident in the positive impact that they would have on their lives. And you know, as you see in the coaches' introductions, the things that they think about, the people that they admire, their favorite quotes, they're special people who really have a heart for kids and are doing this more than just because they love a game or they want a paycheck. They do it because they want to make people better. And that's important to me. I think that's a fundamental of our program. And I think that first and foremost, head coach I work for, Scott Phillips, a very successful coach down in Texas, used to always say that if you have somebody that is a good human being and a good teacher, you can teach them how to be a good football coach. And we're very fortunate that I think we have people that check all three boxes.
Well, I would wholeheartedly second everything that you've mentioned because of my limited interaction with them. I'd echo exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, here we are in Chalk Talk. And, Coach, in Chalk Talk, we kind of get to the board, and we're going to talk about player position. We've talked about a variety of roles here in the last few weeks, but today we're going to talk about the quarterback position. Quarterback position gets a lot of accolades, a lot of attention, a lot of film, if you will, because that is a focal point. Into your system, what is the skill set for your quarterback? Because sometimes you'll see these 5'10" quarterbacks, then you may see a 6'4" quarterback.
And I think in high school where you don't get to recruit people to play specific positions, you have to be very flexible and adaptable as to the skill set that you have from year to year. You know, they say, and I think that there's some extent it's funny, but it's true, that the quarterback and the head coach get way too much credit when you win and too much blame when you lose. And I think there's some truth to that. I think, you know, that's the person that gets his name in the paper, and it's the person that seems to always get blamed when things don't go well. And they always say that the favorite person on the football team is a backup quarterback, you know, because everybody talks about, well, what would he do if he was in? And so it's a tough position, I think, especially in one high school town where football's so important and the success of the team is so highly regarded. And so it takes a special kid mentally to be able to lead and play that position. Somebody's got to have a little bit of a thick skin and is able to forget the previous play when they make mistakes and really be motivated for team success. And they've got to be very competitive. They've got to be a good decision maker. And then they have to be physically gifted. This year we have a quarterback that's starting for us. It's a very gifted runner, a very tough, competitive kid. And so we've shaped our offense around quarterback run game and option type stuff because that's things that he can do really well at. Last year with Mason Scrimmager, we had a kid that could throw the ball pretty well, and he set some passing records for the school the last 2 years because we shaped the offense around his ability to throw the football. And so I think as coaches, we're always evaluating what kids can do and trying to apply what their strengths are to the way we call plays and draw game plans up. And it's exciting when you have kids that have some ability. I've had some kids in the past that could do both, and wow, it's really amazing the potential offensive explosion that you could have. Had a kid at Trinity who was a great dual threat quarterback who completed about 60% of his passes and also rushed for 2,000 yards and ended up being the player of the year for the state of Texas, which was pretty amazing. That's quite an honor. Those guys come along once in every decade, I think.
Once every 20 years?
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate that insight.
Yeah.
That's our Chalk Talk segment for today as we discuss, Coach Haig discusses quarterback position. We're going to take this time out to meet more members of the Enid Plainsmen, and then we're going to come back and talk about what were you thinking.
Good. Hey, Shingle is back to me.
Thielen Phillips, class 2020, running back.
TJ Parker, sophomore, linebacker, receiver.
Colton Dillon, 2019, offensive line.
I'm Jay Numerica, junior, receiver DB.
My name is Dan Raymond. I'm class 2020. I play receiver and safety.
Tyler Holland, class of 2021, offensive line.
Hayden Priest, class 2019, linebacker.
Welcome back, Plainsmen Football. Again, the Enid Television Network Studios is our location for our taping of the Enid Plainsmen Football Coaches Show, and we really appreciate the partnership with Dr. Darrell Floyd, Enid Public Schools, along with the City of Enid, and our contribution to bring this each and every week. Also, I want to say special thanks to our friends Caden and also Jeremiah out at Dillard's at the mall. They're very gracious to provide the wardrobe for Coach Steve Hayes throughout the 2018 football season. So again, we appreciate the men's department providing Coach Steve Hayes wardrobe. And again, that's Dillard's out at the mall. Okay, Coach, what were you thinking? I noticed when I was kind of playing back some of the college games and some of the high school games that I saw over the weekend, every once in a while I saw a play and I thought, Coach, what were you thinking? So we'll bring it closer to home here in Plainsmen football. Here we are, what were you thinking segment, and the topic of timeouts come up from time to time. It's a little, what were you thinking? Why'd you call it timeout now when you had this amount of time? So
Sure.
How would you address that?
This is always my favorite part of the show.
What were you thinking?
Friday night, we got the ball back with 71 seconds and 99 yards to go at the end of the game, and we were out of timeouts. And the reason we were out of timeouts was because offensively, you can stop the clock by getting out of bounds, by throwing an incomplete pass, and the clock stops temporarily when you get a first down until the chains are set, which allows you to have enough time to call a play, get up to the line of scrimmage, and snap the ball. And so those are really your three opportunities in offense to stop the ball if you don't have timeouts. On defense, the only way that you can stop the clock is to call timeout. And Westmore had gotten the ball on our 1 yard line, first and goal, with a little over 2.5 minutes to play. And we had 3 timeouts left, and we used those timeouts in the hope that we'd stop them and have enough time left on the clock to be able to drive the field. And we're able to use them efficiently enough that we got the ball back still with 1:11, even though they were at the goal line in around 2.5 minutes. And so you really have to think wisely about how you want to use them, because you also use them to talk to kids and do things strategically. At the end of the third quarter, the kids came to the sideline, and we polished that halfback pass play. That was the first play of the fourth quarter. And the fact that we had a break in play where we got to talk to the kids, I think helped us to execute that play better. Otherwise, we would have had to use a timeout at that point to get that play in. And so it's a strategic thing, but it's also a clock management thing, and you really have to kind of play. I usually don't call it when we're behind and the offense has first down. I wait to see how many yards they get on first down, and if it's like second long, that's when I start using them, because I know there's a chance that we're going to get them to punt and not use very much time off the clock. If it's 2nd and 1, they get a first down, then basically they have 4 new downs. You need those timeouts to control the clock then.
And that's one of the key words that you just shared with this strategy, because sometimes it is a chess match. Because if you're on defense, you've got to use the timeouts wisely, and you realize offense, they want the clock to run. They have no desire to stop the clock. So it is that chess match.
That's exactly right.
So that's the What Were You Thinking segment, a little bit of behind-the-scenes look at the thought process for timeouts at the end of the game. We need to take another timeout, if you will, because we need to meet the remaining assistant coaches. And also we want to show the remaining district schedule. So let's do that right now.
Coach Cameron Condor, coach quarterbacks, offensive coordinator, attended Grand Canyon University, Phoenix, Arizona. Best advice, be yourself. Don't worry what others are thinking about you.
My name is Coach Jake Hayes. I attended school at Evangel University in Springfield, Missouri. I coach wide receivers for the Enid Plainsmen. I teach PE at Hayes Elementary, and the best piece of advice I've ever received is anything worth doing is worth doing right.
I'm Coach Chad Miller. I graduated from Southwestern Oklahoma State University. I coach safeties for Enid High School. The best advice ever given to me was by my grandfather. He always told me if I wanted something in life, I would need to earn it through hard work.
Hello, my name is Wes McGill. I graduated from the University of South Dakota and North Dakota State University. I coach linebackers, and some of the best advice I've been given is proud men don't complain, they find solutions.
Welcome back, Plainsmen Football, and this is the time, Coach, of the show that we want to say special thanks to our friends Gary Williams out at On Deck at the mall. They're very gracious to provide us the helmets, our studio design, if you will, and also our good friend Jim Riley. We appreciate Jim, who lives in Edmond, has a ministry effort down in Jim. He's an Enid High grad, played All-American down at OU, and of course he played for the Miami Dolphins, providing this Super Bowl history football. We appreciate everyone. But again, to our friends at On Deck, Gary Williams, they have an opportunity that you cannot miss. You don't have to buy a single thing, but as you see on your screen, go to On Deck, fill out a little entry form, no purchase necessary. Coach Hayes, we have 2 of these chairs that were given away, and we'll have you draw those names here towards the end of the season after the playoffs. And then you see the Barry Sanders bobblehead doll. Go to On Deck, no purchase necessary, just fill out the little entry, go as many times as needed. And again, at the end of the season, we will draw out 2 winners for the tailback Enid Plainsmen chairs and also for the Barry Sanders bobblehead doll. There he is in front of Boone Pickens Stadiums. I guess that was Lewis Field at the time, I'm not sure, but there's Barry, number 21. So again, On Deck, no purchase necessary. Thank you to the Williams out there for helping us out. Okay. You think of state championships, you also think in 6A, you think of the Jenks Trojans, as they've had quite a tradition over there for the longest time.
They sure have.
They lost to Broken Arrow last Friday, Coach. I think it was like 28-13. Broken Arrow seems to be on a roll this year. Your thoughts about the Trojans? And you're going to Jenks, and it's a 7:30 kickoff, I believe.
Correct. 30 minutes later than normal away game. You know, you're right about Broken Arrow. They're on a roll. They've got a very, very good football team this year. Probably the score of the Jenks game wasn't as close as 28-13. They really handled them. Jenks has got a good football team, very, very sound defensively. They're kind of a bend, don't break, don't give up the big play, make you have 20 plays to score type of defense. They're not a lot of kids who are flashy, but just good, sound high school fundamental football players. And offensively, they're just very multiple in their scheme. Their quarterback's a really good football player. I think he's a 3-year starter. Makes good decisions with the ball and has a nice touch on his throws. They throw the ball well, so we'll have to be prepared to defend the pass. And then just to go to that place and play and those wonderful facilities, got that beautiful end zone facility and I think a big scoreboard and screen. And so it'll be a neat experience for our kids to get to play in that environment for the first time in several years. And so anyway, I'm excited. I think it's a great opportunity for us. I mean, I told our kids that realistically, there's probably not very many people in the Milky Way that think we can win this game. And I think it's one of the funnest weeks of the year because we have a chance to be the team that everybody talks about in the state of Oklahoma Saturday morning. If we find a way to win that game, that'll be probably the top headline in the paper and the conversation of people all across the coffee houses across the state. And I really love our chances to go down there and play well. And if we take care of the football and play kind of like we played last Friday night, I think it'll be a good football game. I really do. I think we're going to surprise some people again by showing that we do belong in 6A Division I when we play the Jenks Trojans this week.
And that's why we play the game, so we have those memories to say, well, I remember when we played this team and that team back then.
That's right.
You'll always have that memory. Jenks Trojans, the Plainsmen are on the road, as Coach says, and kickoff will be 7:30 at the Jenks game this Friday night. We're going to take this time out so you can see or view some of the airing times of the Coach's Show, and we're going to do that right now. All right, we have less than a minute, Coach, as we close out. The Jenks game brings it. It's just amazing how quick the season goes along. The Jenks game means that we're halfway through the regular season.
Correct.
Yes, there's the playoffs, but regular season. Are you where you want to be halfway through the year, you think?
I definitely think we have improved a ton since the Guthrie game. We've come a long way. I think that the second half of district stretch, when we play Santa Fe and Yukon and Memorial and those schools, are going to be really important because I think you're going to have to win 4 games to make the playoffs. You might win 3 and get lucky and squeak in, but I really think 4 is the number. And so, that's our goal, to get there. And then when we get there, to be good enough to compete and win a game. And if we continue to improve like we have, I feel really good about that stretch of the season. And obviously we want to stay healthy so we can have all of our best players on the field. But I'm excited. Our effort Friday night really has me very optimistic, and I think the best is yet to come.
Coach, thank you for your time today and appreciate your insight on the last week's game and for the upcoming game with the Jenks Trojans. Thank you for joining us on the Coach's Show with Steve and Steve. I'm Steve Kime with the City of Enid. Thank you for being with us today, sharing your time with us. Until next time, make it a great day. Go Plainsmen.
Go Plainsmen. Beat Jenks.
Thank you for watching Enid Plainsmen Football with Steve and Steve on ETN.